Who knows? Let's have a look at Slerfer. So annoying. I'm so annoyed by Slerf because it, I mean, obviously, if anyone took that trade, they were invalidated. I did say you wouldn't, but leverage that because you still have these outer trend lines that you need to clear, and you're not doing it. We're not doing it. So I think Slerf and Bitcoin are very interdependent. And right now, because Bitcoin is not having a fun time, Slerf is also not having a fun time. Have we made an all-time low? That's the question. Okay, because I did say that wouldn't be ideal, and I'll just go over that idea again. Let me just get rid of these moving averages now because they're irrelevant. Get rid of the volume because that's not really relevant either. Okay, it looks like we've made an all-time low. See that? On Bybit, you see that the all-time low is a little bit lower. And actually, when I went on CoinGecko earlier on, and I looked at Slerf because I was interested to see if we made an all-time low or not. Two hours, yeah, look at that. April the 5th, 2 hours ago. See that? So we've put in an all-time high, then we've made an all-time low. You see that? So that changes things a little bit. It really does. I'm not fond of that price action, to be honest with you. I've explained why, but I'll explain again. This is 18 days ago. So you look on CoinMarketCap, it's slightly lower. So let's maybe, you see there's a little bit of divergence, and that makes me think we still haven't made an all-time low. Maybe this is incorrect. Let me update this all-time low. Doesn't mean we're not going to make it. Yeah, it's the price action is looking weak. That's where the CoinMarketCap has put its all-time low. I wonder if that is because of HTX. Let me have a look at HTX. Yeah, you see, so CoinMarketCap has taken the all-time low from HTX, and that's slightly lower than on Bybit. So CoinGecko has taken it from somewhere else. Because HTX actually has the highest volume right now, if you look at the volume on Slerf, if I go to markets, you'll see that HTX has at the moment 66% of the volume, and this is on the spot market. And in perpetuals, Bybit has the most volume at 29%, but that's only $47 million worth of 24-hour volume. Actually, right now HTX is the main exchange where the volume is. See that? That being said, look at the depth. Radium, it's unusual, but look, Radium has the most depth. Look, 1.7 million on each side. It's interesting, huh? Radium. That's quite a large amount on spot. Let me have a look at perpetuals. Doesn't have it. Doesn't have the depth. Okay. Let's just say the all-time low hasn't been taken yet, just because I want to see it taken on both of those CoinMarketCap and on HTX. Yeah, I don't just want it to be on one of them, I want it to be on both. So at the moment we're still okay because it's slightly lower than I had before. And then I just want to check this fib. So I've got this fib extension. I'll do it again. All-time high, all-time low. Just get these lines, get rid of these lines. That's fine. Okay. Let's get rid of that now. Keep these trend lines, not these developing weekly. Let's get rid of that. Actually, I wanted that weekly, actually. Developing weekly. That's fine. Right. Look at the VWAP, the anchored VWAP. The volume is all the way up at 668. 68. Okay. It's looking really weak. Yeah. And until we break this outer trend line, there's really there's no way to know how far it can go. It's really important, this outer trend line at the moment. We had a much steeper one which we broke out of, and we just lost it. We lost it mainly because of Bitcoin. And actually what's happening is that you see the rises, they're being sold into. Okay, this is a real problem when you have trapped liquidity. Yeah, so people are trapped. When you look at the this anchored VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price from the launch on Bybit, you see that the average price by volume is at 67 cents. Yeah, so you see a lot of people are trapped. You have a lot of trapped people. A lot of people here in this range are negative. They're almost everyone in this range is in negative equity right now. I think what's happened is that you've had a lot of shorts pushing the price down. Yeah, so eventually those shorts will be squeezed, and eventually those shorts are going to close. Excuse me, I don't know when it's going to happen. It may happen when Bitcoin halves. When is the Bitcoin halving again? It was on the 19th of April. There. Now, I think what we need is we need to see a sign of strength before people can enter and start accumulating, or you're just going to keep on attacking the lows until you can finally get you can actually capture the lows eventually one day in the future. You know, who knows, it's gonna you're gonna form a low here. You're gonna form a bottom. and no one can predict that. And so in the future, if you just keep on scaling into the lows, eventually you'll catch the lows. Okay, you'll be in the low of this brand new token. Excuse me. But it doesn't mean that this is going to go to the moon. It just depends, because I think, let's just assume this is the all-time low and we're holding the all-time low. That's fine. But if we confirm an all-time low on both those CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, yeah, that's not good, because what's happening, and I'll explain it again, you're going from an all-time low here to an all-time high here to an all-time low. You know, you're making a lower low. Lower low to higher low to lower low. So you've just made a lower low. And so if you make a lower low, then actually people will be looking for a lower high to exit. They'll not be looking for the higher high. Yeah. So it'll be a lot more difficult to get to the higher high if you make a lower low, because most people, as the price comes back up, probably to the golden pocket, wherever the low is put in, yeah, doesn't really matter where, then you do a fib pull to wherever the low is, and then at the golden pocket, as the price comes back up, people will be looking to exit. Yeah. And then depending on how the price moves, we'll have to see whether people reaccumulate or not, but it would potentially mean that the consolidation continues for a much longer period of time. Okay, that would be if we make a lower low, an all-time low. Now if we hold the low, it will look a lot more bullish. And then the other thing that kind of like I have in my mind is this kind of idea of this first wave that we've put in here. The combo, is that the combo? That's the wrong one. This one here. See that? Almost, you could barely see it, but I've got this kind of impulsive 1 2 3 4 5 here. And if you, the way Elliott waves work is if you kind of come underneath this pivot here where the 0 begins, you've invalidated that whole count. This whole count is invalidated and you're back to square one. Okay, and if you are back to square one, if we go back to square one here, then most people won't care about the first wave. Most people will be looking to catch the third wave. Yeah, most people will wait for the first wave to happen. They'll look for the correction and then they'll catch the third wave. The third wave is going to be the biggest. Okay, you have to bear that in mind. Yeah, that's why I've been longing, because I've been hoping and expecting a third wave. Like if that was wave one, this is, let's say this is the ABC correction. I've been trying to catch the third wave. That's what I've been looking for. If this first wave here gets invalidated because we come underneath the 0, that invalidates that first wave, and then you have to start again. And I would lose interest until I saw the first wave again. I'd have to see the first 1 2 3 4 5, then I'll be looking for the correction, and I'll be looking to catch the wave 3, right? And that's probably, most people will be thinking like that. They'll be waiting for the waves, and the wave that they really want to catch is the wave 3. They're not really fussed about necessarily catching all of them. The wave 3 is going to be the biggest one, usually is. And because of all of this trap liquidity, you want to see an impulsive wave first. So I'm thinking if we hold a lower low, higher low, it'd be better. But if we lose it, then the whole thing resets. And then most people, as the price comes up eventually in the future, they'll be looking to just kind of get out at break even and reevaluate. Okay, so it'll be a lot more problematic for this coin to impulse. And then you may be looking at a much longer correction, which is bullish. You know, don't think it's bearish just because the correction is actually much longer than people think. If you remember Shiba Inu from the last bull market, the correction was ridiculously long, and then it went up crazy X, like unbelievable X in the last bull market. And so these long corrections can be extremely bullish. They can be really bullish. Let me show you. Shibu. Remember this when Vitalik sold his... did he sell it? He gifted it or something. Or he burnt it. I can't remember what he did. He did something with his coins. Yeah. I think he gave them to charity or something like that. I think that's what happened. Yeah. And then the price just dumped. You remember that? And how long was it in the lows here for? 133 days in this low consolidation period. Yeah. And during that time, of course, the rest of the market, well, this was quite a corrective place. Like it was May 21. That was when we had the crash. But even here, August, September, the rest of the market was pumping, and this was just kind of going sideways. And then you had the impulse, okay? And actually, you had the initial impulse here. You can see it. You can see that it started here, and then people caught the wave 3. And so Shibu had this like long correction, which is bullish, but from the wave 3 all the way up, I mean, it only went up 11x, which isn't that much, but it did go up from this peak, from this really low. It didn't go up crazy, yeah? And the reason why it didn't go up crazy was because it made lower lows, you know? So it will still go up, maybe a 10x, but you kind of don't want to do that. You don't want to create that kind of price action. So when I go back to Slerf, everything changes when we head into price discovery. Yeah, price discovery has its own way of doing things. I think if we make a lower low here, I think most people will be looking to exit this token, okay, and wait the next time it goes up, and that will probably be here when Bitcoin halves. Yeah, when Bitcoin halves. And we don't know how low this is going to go then, because if you, I mean, potentially it will go back up as soon as you swing failure this pivot or this all-time low. And I think that would be, most people will be looking to exit that, because that would be a long trade right there. That would be a swing failure of the lows. There's a long trade on the table right there for traders. And as the price ascends and comes up, most people will be looking to get out, I think. Even with this bump and run idea, if you put in a low there, your target changes. You'll then be looking at the golden pocket, which according to this, if it just goes down a little bit, the golden pocket will be this developing weekly level that I've got marked out. And that developing weekly level is based on this idea that you have a green weekly candle followed by a red weekly candle. So actually that's, I think we can safely say that is a weekly level now. Yeah, so I've called it developing weekly because I wasn't sure. So I wanted to see the weekly candle ends, but actually that is your weekly level now. So it's no longer developing. Okay, so there's strong resistance there. I think if the price comes up, wherever this price lands, doesn't really matter, because the golden pocket pretty much comes in the same place. If it comes down a bit lower or higher, doesn't really matter, because there's going to be strong resistance there. So even if you do have some kind of bump and run idea, which is still possible, you still have this trend line to break. However we get above it, make our way back up, you're going to hit very strong resistance there. And I'll probably, I mean, I'm in spot. I bought some, just a small amount, just to see, you know, because I was hoping that we'd make a high low. But I'll probably also be looking to exit there, and then I'll probably be looking to reevaluate and see how the price is forming, and then I'll be looking at the volume and looking at all the kind of data to reanalyze this token, right? And it's a bit of a shame because I think there's a lot of potential here, but maybe it just needs a little bit more time. We have to see, right? I'm not seeing crazy strength here, and I think this is just, maybe that means that a lot of people here are just jumping on the bandwagon. They're not really serious about this token. Solana,